Hello there, this is NewsReview. My name is Lamanjai. Coming up on the show, 30 police officers graduate after training on counter-terrorism. We have a report on that. Also coming up, members of the Occupy BAC, that's become an area council, to stage protest on Wednesday. We have been speaking with the public relations officer or the spokesperson of the movement. We have a report or an interview that we'll bring you. Also coming up, Gambia government throws light on the processes that led to the award of petroleum exploration and production license to British oil giant BP. These and more, but first we will begin with the newspaper review, and I'm with my co-presenter, Jaka Sise Jaiten. Jaka, welcome, and what do we have on the papers?
Thank you very much, Lami. We have the Point and Standard newspaper, but we'll first of all start with the Point newspaper. And the headlines read, 16 years on, Lieutenant Malik Jatta admits killing data. TRC 140 arrested journalists to benefit from reparation. Former Point reporter says he was locked up without dress. 16 years on, Lieutenant Malik Jatta admits killing data. It took 15 years to have a concrete answer to the question who killed Dada Haidara, displayed on the Point's front paper banner since 2004. Vivid details to the circumstances of the killing of the Point's ex-managing editor and co-proprietor Dada Haidara emerged that he was shot and killed on the orders of ex-President Yahya Jammeh. Mr. Haidara's productive life was cut short by assassin's bullet some 15 years ago when the newspaper he co-founded with childhood friend Pap Sen was celebrating its 13th anniversary. On the day, Tombul Tamba told our patrol team that we were going for the magic pen, code name given to Dada Haidara, was target for the operation. Lieutenant Malik Jatta of the Gambia Armed Forces and a member of former President Jammeh's hit squad known as the Junglers, yesterday testified before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, TRC disclosed. We left Kanilai with Tamba's car till Kanifin and took a taxi from the former President Jammeh's garage. He confessed that he took the shot that killed Dada Haidara 15 years ago. His team members on this fateful night included Sana Manjang, Aliu Jeng, and Tombul Tamba. TRC 140 arrested journalists to benefit reparation. Adelaide Sose, the vice chairperson of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, TRC, that's established to unearth the atrocities committed under former President Yahya Jammeh's era, has stated that the 140 journalists that were arrested during Jammeh's regime will benefit from reparations. She said reparations shall be given to the 140 journalists that were arrested during the Jammeh's era. The victims' journalists will be asked what they want until they feel their pain is recognized. And then government is the main agenda of reparations. The TRC vice chair was speaking on Friday during Talk to TRC Forum, organized by young people and held at the American Corner along the Caraba Avenue. TRC, she added, was set up to look into the human rights violations from July 22, 1994 until 2017. TRC is here to investigate the violations meted on Gambians with a view to ensuring that reparations are given to victims through the Victim Center, which is here to promote national healing. Also on the Point newspaper, former Point reporter says he was locked up without dress. Aliu Badarasow, a former reporter of The Point and Daily Observer, disclosed to the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission yesterday that the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, wanted him to serve with them as undercover investigative reporter. In 1999, I went to the office at Daily Observer and I was told Sheriff Bojan was arrested and I am wanted for the story I published with the headline "Shooting at Kanilai." I was picked by NIA, detained, and I was later undressed and locked at a very small room till the following morning. That was it for the Point newspaper. We move on to the Standard newspaper, and the headlines read, Gambia gets $3 million grant to develop capacity of local government. Police says reported kidnappings are false. Also, government condemns murder of UTG student. Gambia gets $3 million grant to develop capacity of local governments. The Gambia government yesterday signed a tripartite funding agreement with the African Development Bank and the United Nations Office for Project Services for the development of a digital master plan and institutional capacity building for urban municipalities in the country. The Sustainable Urban Development Program is a 24-month initiative that will be implemented in the Kanifing Municipal Council, Banjul City Council, Brikama Area Council, Ministry of Local Government, and the Gambia Ports Authority. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mamburin Jai, said the goal of the new program is to create a harmonized and comprehensive urban development plan that will create the necessary synergy between the strategy and investment plans of the local authorities and the port for the modernization of the administrative governance, for services efficiency to the people. Also on the Standard newspaper, police say reported kidnappings are false. The Office of the Inspector General of Police has noted with concern informations going around social media platforms about missing persons, including adults and minors. Although most of these reports on social media platforms were never formally filed with the police, exhaustive investigations have, however, been conducted in many of the reported cases. The report about a 14-year-old girl named Whitfield at Kanifing allegedly kidnapped and held in an empty cargo container with other children proves to be untrue. She confessed to visiting her boyfriend in Lamin village, where she spent the night, returning home at 4 p.m. the following day. The boyfriend, 18 years old, adult, has been arrested and he is helping with investigations. Similarly, another report about 19-year-old Fatma Tamane at Kotu, allegedly abducted and held in a dark, unidentified room at an unknown location with other girls, it's equally unfounded. She confessed picking up a job as a housemaid at Kotu Sad, where she stayed without her parents' knowledge. She further admits sending text messages to her family about her false abduction. The case of a 15-year-old boy named Whitfield gone missing in Banjul was also well investigated. It was found that he left home to Senegal, where he intends to enroll in a Quranic school without knowledge of his parents. He has been founded and reunited with his family. The Inspector General's office wishes to assure the public that it will not relent its efforts to protect the life and properties of individuals as enshrined in Section 178, subsection 1 and 2 of the Constitution of the Gambia. In this regard, the general public is urged to report all cases and cooperate with the police in the fight against all forms of crisis. On the Standard newspaper, also, government condemns murder of UTG student. The Ministry of Interior strongly and categorically condemns the tragic murder of 25-year-old Gambia University student Keba Seka in the hands of a police officer on 9th July 2019 as cowardly, heinous, and unacceptable. Seka, who was allegedly stabbed by first-class constable Lamin Trawale during a scuffle with police, subsequently died as his alleged murderer fled the scene, leaving behind his murder weapon, which turned out to be very crucial during police investigations. Keba Seka's suspected murder, Officer Lamin Trawale, has now been apprehended, charged with murder, and is currently remanded at the Mile 2 Central Prison, awaiting appearance before the Banjul High Court. That was it for the newspapers. Lamin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Jaka, for the newspaper review there. So, 30 police officers on Tuesday graduated after undergoing a 1-month training on tactical operations and counter-terrorism. A graduation ceremony was held at the anti-crime unit, that's the police anti-crime unit in Bijilo. Jaga Sisa Jete was at the event and she came through with this report.
The event witnessed practical demonstrations of what was learned on the part of the graduates, including how to handle hostage situations and armed robbery situations.
You can see even some terrorists are being arrested, as well as their teachers have also been rescued.
Abdullah Sanyang, Deputy Inspector of Police, calls on the support and cooperation of the public in making sure that the country is secured by respecting and putting their trust into the police.
I would like to remind you all that the police are employed into society to be protectors of the public and serve the community whenever they are in need of help or justice. We are here to enforce the law of the land and to keep society safe from any harm, nothing else. We, the police, are supposed to be your unsung heroes. With this knowledge, citizens should respect the police and trust the officers to implement justice and protection. Therefore, we call on all for your cooperation and support.
Commissioner of Anti-Crime Unit Gorgi Elmbub expressed optimism that through this training, graduates will be able to handle counter-terrorism in the Gambia.
The Anti-Crime Unit has been established with an ultimate purpose of fighting crimes of any form in the country. It is therefore out of this, I deem it fit to engage our police officers in tactical operations and counter-terrorism training, which started on the 24th of June and ended today. We rest assured that through this training, these competent future commanders in tactical operation and counter-terrorism would be the national cornerstone when we talk of security.
The event was graced by senior officials from the police force and families of the graduates. Jaka CCJT reporting for the Fatu Network News Review.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm going to replace my AfriCell 3G SIM card.
Why use a 3G SIM card when you have a 4G phone? Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real AfriCell 4G SIM and receive 1 GB of internet data for free.
Really?
The Minister of Petroleum on Tuesday held a press conference where it shed light on the processes that led to the award of a oil exploration and production license to British oil giant BP, that's British Petroleum. The Minister of Petroleum and BP in April this year signed a contract with BP to explore oil and gas in the Gambia. The Gambia government said at the time the agreement is the culmination of years of work and the application of best industry practices through a most transparent process with the involvement of all the key industry stakeholders across government. On Tuesday, the Minister of Petroleum, that's Fafa Sanyang, said the Gambia government will continue its exploration efforts. Here is an excerpt.
We are at a very early stage in oil and gas exploration, as mentioned by Latif this morning, with only a few wells drilled. 2 wells, exploration wells were drilled offshore, and 2 wells onshore. None of them had a discovery. The government, through the Ministry of Petroleum, continues its exploration efforts through clear policy objectives, include 1, establishing well-defined institutional framework for the development of the petroleum sector, developing consistent, transparent, and stable legal and regulatory framework that creates the enabling environment for foreign direct investment in the petroleum sector, as well as protect the interests of the Gambian people. 3, develop and implement local content policy for the participation of Gambians in the petroleum businesses. 4, develop the requisite human resource capacity to achieve the above objectives.
TAF Africa Global is pleased to launch Dalaba Housing Estate. Dalaba Housing Estate is our newest estate located on the Sukuta Jabang Road. You can buy a finished 2 or 3 bedroom house or service plots accompanied with a free fence and gate.
And now, members of the Occupy BAC, that's Occupy Brikama Area Council, that's a movement, will on Wednesday stage a protest at the Brikama Area Council office to call for an end to what they call the Area Council's lackluster attitude towards the development of the local government area. The movement accuses the council of not doing enough in terms of bringing development to the doorstep of the people of West Coast region. Abubakar Dabo is the spokesperson of the movement, and he has been speaking to the Fatu Network ahead of the protest.
Occupy BAC is a movement that is more or less 3 weeks old. It is a movement that was established by a few visionary youths that are very, very enthusiastic, youths that are also very, very hungry for development of West Coast region, because they realize that there is a need for that urgency of development, because they are seeing other places being developed like KMC, like Banjul City Council, and even LRR. They are well taken off now, and then they are proceeding with their development agendas and all whatnot. And then if you look at Brikama is the, internally they are the richest, but then you come to think of it also, they are also the most backwarded and also the most poorest region, among its sister regions. And people see that, they are paying their taxes and they are paying their revenues. And then they feel that those revenues and those taxes should be plowed back to them in return. We are not saying let them give us cars. We are not saying let them give us rice or whatsoever. But what we are saying is we are only going to remind them of their responsibilities, to the people, so that those livelihoods of the people can be improved and also can be realized.
So what's the objective of this movement? What are you doing?
Okay, as of now, we are in the preliminary stage of things, because what we want is after this whole process of Occupy BAC, which is to take place on the 24th of July 2019.
So you plan to protest?
Yes, we plan to carry on with a peaceful demonstration, as a peaceful protest. And then what we are planning to do is immediately after this whole process issue, we are going to establish a sophisticated pressure group, that is going to stand for the people of West Coast region, and it is going to carry, those voices of West Coast region to the next level. And then we also put pressure on our council with regards to our development aspirations.
So this protest, what exactly are you planning? What exactly do you want out of this whole demonstration?
Okay, we are anticipating a lot, because the whole objective of this protest is all about a peaceful demonstration. That is why in the first place we went to the police, to obtain a permit. Okay, we are youths that are yearning for peace. We are youths that are yearning for development. And then what we intend to do is we are going to execute a march past that is going to take place on the 24th from Brikama Jar Oil to Brikama Area Council, and then we are going to occupy, around the Brikama Area Council. And when we reach there, what we plan to do is we are going to invite them for a consultation meeting with them, and then few of us will be privileged to have a tete-a-tete meeting with them, and then we are going to raise our concerns to them. We are also going to give them demands and also an ultimatum to respond to us.
Did you get a permit yet for this peaceful gathering?
Well, we applied for a permit, and then we were called for a background check, which we honored, and then we were background checked, and then they.
Bokar Dawo there, the spokesperson of Occupy BAC, speaking to the Fatu Network there ahead of their planned protest billed for Wednesday, that's tomorrow. The movement is yet to be granted a permit, but they are telling us that they will go out with or without a permit. So with that, we will come to the end of today's show. My name is Lamin Jai. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.